Hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. This clip is from David, who lives in Palm Springs. He secluded himself away from people, but lives in a palatial estate where he has absolutely no problems. His only problem is he feels like he's living in a gilded cage. Hope you enjoy the clip. Welcome to the Communicators, a paranormal journey. This is Kevin, your host, and we're here every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. The call-in number for every show is 646-668-8373. Our panel tonight consists of psychics, mediums, trans-channelers, and empaths. So if you're looking for some psychic advice, or if you just want to reach somebody on the other side, feel free to give us a call. For anyone listening that would prefer an off-air reading, please visit thecommunicatorsgroup.com and leave your request there, and one of us will get back to you to schedule an appointment. Please keep in mind that shows are for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Hi, thanks for holding. Who's this?
Hi, this is David. I'm in Palm Springs, California.
Hi, David. How's Palm Springs today?
Kind of cloudy, kind of windy. Not our best day, but, tomorrow's another day.
Do you have a specific question?
I kind of have a sense my life is a little off track. There's nothing wrong. I'm comfortable. I don't have any problems. I don't have any fights. And I'm just wondering, for a while, for a couple of years, I was like, I'm resting, I'm regrouping. But I've been here for 14 years. I still have a place in L.A., but I was in L.A. before I came out here. Now I'm kind of feeling like I'm just kind of like literally lost out in the desert and there's no way back home. Literally, I have no problems. I live in a beautiful estate property. And I am like, if anything, my only problem is I'm living in a gilded cage. And I don't have to deal with the world at all.
In a gilded cage. I know exactly what he's talking about, Linda.
Okay.
He feels like he's in a gilded cage, that he's locked up. He's locked himself away in the desert, in this palace. Everything's wonderful. He goes outside. He can look at the stars. He can look at gardens. It's wonderful, but what now? And
exactly.
Yeah. And right now is a movement forward of things. So much shifted because of the pandemic. Everything changed for everybody. And whether or not you know somebody who had a change or whatever, the energy vibrating through the planet has completely changed. It threw me through the biggest flip and loop I've ever been on in my entire life. And yet everything's beautiful. I live in a great place. Absolutely everything can be better. But I'm sitting there going, okay, what am I supposed to do now? And so what I kept hearing was you have to sit there, you have to relax, you have to regroup, and you need to rest. And while you're doing that, we will give you little things. So just follow the intuitions and follow the things that you want to do. Because I found myself not wanting to do anything. I didn't know what to do. So right now, with you wondering what it is that you're supposed to do, that's the biggest exciting point. So the one thing that I would say to you is you're in a position on the flip side, live in a palace, you don't have to worry about money or whatever. So what is it that excites you? For me, I just left the hospitality hotel industry where I had been for 30 years. And now I'm dedicating 100% of my time to a whole new career, focusing on voiceover and all that in this show and all that kind of stuff. But the thought of, oh my God, where do I begin and what do I do and all that kind of stuff, it was mind numbing. And I did get to that point where I'm like, okay, well, I'm regrouped, I'm rested. Then gradually I started doing little things. I was taking pictures, videos, and doing graphic stuff and playing around with them. All these things because I like doing that. Long story short, I have got a huge collection of assets that I can use to build my website, all this kind of stuff, and it was fun to do, and yet I just let the inklings come in. So when you are out in your back and you're looking up at the stars, talk out loud to yourself, to the sky, to the plants, whatever, and just kind of say, I know I've got some guidance teams out there. Every spirit has guides that help them and that are there, and they're just waiting for you to ask them for help. Now, when you don't know what to do, and you're like, okay, well, what do I do? I think I've rested, but have I over-rested? Am I just gonna just sit here until I die, right? You just say, okay, anybody out there who's my guide that's around me right now? I would like to do something. I would like to get inspired to do something. My life is great, so then start thinking out loud. for all of the fantastic things in your life. Like literally today, I thank the body of water that sits behind our house. You can't call it a lagoon, although it kind of is, but this huge lagoon. And I was looking out there and I'm like, you know what, lagoon? Thank you. You've been there for 11 years. I've never once thanked you for bringing me so much joy when I go out into the backyard. The more you start thinking and saying thanks for this, and asking for the inspiration for what you need to do next, I promise you, you will get it. You will be inspired and you will know exactly what to do. But you absolutely don't need to hear what to do from anybody because you have always made your own decisions and known what to do when the time was right. And when you decided to rest and take your moment, that's because you needed to. Does all that make sense?
There's so many similarities because one of the things I do occupy my time with is I take a lot of photographs and I play with them on my computer for hours at a time. So when you were talking about that, I could have been looking in the mirror. I used to work for the Four Seasons Hotel Company. So there, a lot of things you said were kind of like hitting me square on. I mean, everything you said makes sense, and I think it's true. But I sit out in my backyard every single day saying, where am I supposed to go next? What am I supposed to do? And, you know, it's going on years now.
You can have a thought, what do I do? What do I do? But it's a thought. It's just energy that hasn't escaped the vortex yet. In this reality, we're in 3D. So if you think it, okay, well, that's good. But unless you speak it out loud inside the game board that we're on, which is this 3D reality, you can't evoke it. You can't get the assistance because your guides and spirits and people who passed on the other side, whatever, who are trying to help, they don't read minds. They need to hear it. So as much as you've been doing it, that's great. Because now you know all the things to say out loud. And with gratitude, let it go. You're like, you know what? I'm giving this to you. I'm leaving it in your hands. This is what I'd like. I don't know what I'd like, but it's something fun, something that I'm going to enjoy. Just concentrate on what is the final result that you want, which is having a good time, being inspired. So evoke it. God said, let there be light, and then there was light. You have to think it, speak it, and write it down. You do those three things, even if you don't know what it is that you want. Just focus on the end result. I want to be blissfully content in everything that I do. That's it. Leave the universe to do the rest. It's already flowing you into situations to call. Sorry, guys. I was on a huge soapdish.
Well, honestly, I think I called in to hear your voice. I actually used to work as an actor and an acting coach in LA, and you definitely have the right voice for that. So very impressed. Yeah, so awesome.
All right. We will go on to our next caller.